Hey, welcome to Ice Age TV. Saturday morning, late morning conversations. Oh, did all the chores, all the trash up the road. Just too many things to do, too many places to go. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to be on the road. And internal combustion engine age, YouTube promoter, then that's me. Then we go for a ride today. It just never ends. Vehicles. And people think, why have all these cars? Well, yeah, because I'm just not right. Because I'm just a crazy man that wants to have tons of cars. That's just who I am. That's why I've got a YouTube channel to share my craziness with everybody. So anyways, wow. Last night I really got motivated and I knocked out a lot of nice things. I literally got my mud flaps, splash guards put on, whatever you want to call them. Got the inner fender well put on, so front and rear splash guards. That was a project. The back mud guards, flaps, splash guards, those are just not the easiest in the world. Really cold day up here, and just thought I'd make a YouTube conversation. So I'm going to be on the road for the next hour and a half, and thought I'd talk. And I rolled up my tonneau cover last night to be able to get trash out, and boy, it's so cold out here. This stuff just really isn't clicking in, and this stuff's just here so temperamental. Cold weather, because it'll break on you. So I'm just kind of letting it kind of be what it is. So anyways, yeah, what is the forum conversation this morning? What is the talk when I drive my nice Power Boost? Just love the truck. Just really do love this truck. It's a great truck. It is so comfortable. And next week in this time, you may be seeing me tow with it one of these trailers here. What trailer would I use? So follow me along here. So you get in the truck here, and it is cold. Wow. This morning I actually filled up the truck with premium fuel. And let's see here what we got here. And so right now I'm at 19.5 miles per gallon. And what are we going to get today? I mean, it's just so cold up here. I just can't see us. I just can't see this thing getting great mileage. If you look here, 19 degrees out. So I've got, this will be about a 200 mile day. So I'm getting closer to my 1,000 mile goal. My goal here is that I want to get to 1,000 miles. And so if I get to 1,000 miles, I can tow with my truck, but I'm going to be leaving like Wednesday. So I'm down like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, I should say Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I've got 4 days of driving. So today I should be back in about 750. And so I should probably be pretty close. And so what's the forum? What's the conversation? There's the theme. Kind of giving away there. Boy, it is just so cold, man. Woo! Brr! Right. So the forum, I thought to myself this morning, I'll talk about the forum. And the forum is relating to how I've been in lots of different car forums, motorcycle forums, truck forums. And if you're the motorhead enthusiast, like I am, you tend to hang out in these forums that kind of cater to the vehicle you own. So if you own a Ford F-150 Tremor, you're probably hanging out in the F-150 Tremor forum. If you've got a Ford Mustang Mach-E electric vehicle, you're probably hanging out in the Mach-E electric forum. You got an F-150 Lightning, same thing. If you got a Mustang GT350 or 500, if you have a Hellcat, Dodge Challenger Hellcat. So there's always different forums out there. And what's interesting is over the years, they kind of originated from the WordPress platform. And that's kind of the outdated platform, even though that's the most efficient and the easiest and least expensive forum to have. Because I had a motorcycle forum, believe it or not. When I first started my YouTube channel, if you go back to my very early beginnings of my YouTube channel, you don't see me. I just didn't want to be in the videos. It wasn't about me. I was just trying to share with others what I love to do and have, and truly that was my original beginnings of my YouTube channel, because I saw so many people just constantly throwing their face, yikes, right? And I'm thinking to myself, wow, eat my own words here. But anyways, so I had an Indian motorcycles.net forum that I started, and just a lot of, it's a chunk of money to get it going. Not huge, but it's the managing the forum to keep all the bots and all the scammers and all the people that abuse the policies of forums to try to keep it clean is not easy, and to grow a forum is very challenging. So I had this really nice Indian motorcycle forum. They said, why'd you start that? Well, the original Indian motorcycle forum, they sold out with a Veriscope, and it was just a different type of platform that I wasn't used to, and I didn't like that platform. I just didn't like the way he interacted. And then when the Veriscope, I think it's Veriscope, these conglomerates are buying up all these smaller platforms, and then it turns into a lot of advertising, just a lot of content constantly thrown in your face. And then it turns into much stricter guidelines of what you can kind of say in these forums, where these big conglomerates just don't put up with much of anything besides you presenting how much you love your motorcycle or your car. And if you get a little outside of that realm of talking the state of times, you pretty much erase your content, and even to the point they ban your content, even to the point they ban you. Yeah, so this morning I just thought to myself, let's talk about the forums, because for me, I've been very interactive with many car forums over the years, and my favorite forum has always been the Hellcat forum, where the Dodge enthusiasts all kind of congregate, and we all have our conversations and really good stuff. And I've been on a lot of these forums now for like 7+ years, going on 8 years. But going back to my Indian motorcycle forum that I started, I got a lot of exposure of understanding how forums work and understanding trying to manage them. And you don't make any money. I mean, you just don't make any money on these forums. It's all about the advertising. It's all about how much users come to your website. So for me, I spent about a year of trying to grow that website, but I was competing against an existing Indian motorcycle forum that I was trying to bring a lot of the members over to my forum, because it was the WordPress style interaction, and I was trying to be a little bit more lenient on the conversations that people could kind of talk, because anytime you get into the Indian motorcycles forum that I belong to now, after I shut mine down, if you start getting any political conversation, it pretty much the thread gets shut down. Then you get kind of like a warning. Yeah, because people start arguing amongst themselves, and I get all that. But at the same time, there's many threads that I've been in, and even I've created, where everybody's kind of diplomatically treating each other with respect, but then they just don't let it continue on, and they shut it down. And so that's the same theme everywhere you go, because what happens in these car forums is, how many times can the guy make a thread about what exhaust he should put on his car? How many times can you start a thread about which tires should you put on your car? How many times do you see a guy, post that he just put an air intake in his car, now it's that much faster? And the list goes on and on and on. And so what kind of happens in these forums is it can borderline get mundane to a degree, especially if the manufacturer, the brand that you're with, isn't feeding new products and new technology. And so what happens is, if that's not going on, you're just it's just redundant repeat conversations, and it just is more challenging to be drawn into the forums to talk and interact with others. But don't get me wrong, it's always nice to share information, and the new people getting involved that just bought a new car, and they're wanting to know, hey, can I do this or do that? And that's great info. And that's what's really nice about these car forums, is you can get a lot of information to help you, not go down the same path somebody else did of making a mistake of what just doesn't work, but you think it does. And so it's huge. The car forums. There's just so many different aspects of the forum communities out there, and many different bicycles. I mean, it's infinite on who has forums out there where you can go and interact with others that have the likes that you have. And isn't that kind of the whole idea? It's all about us kind of being the same page of the likes and the interests and the dislikes of what drives the content. And so for me, why am I bringing this up? Well, the reason I'm bringing this up is, for me, I've been very active in the Dodge community forums, and it's very unfortunate, but some really bad things came to be in one of my favorite forums, and it was just really just in this. I talk about this in general ways without getting into great detail links, but it's about stealing information. So unfortunately, for a forum that I was very involved in, an individual was stealing private messages, private information, and then using this information to create hate. Really, it's all it is. It's an individual that's really fixated on that, since they don't like the way you look at the world, and they want you to look at the way they look at the world, since you don't agree with what they think is right versus wrong. This individual is very devious, and he targeted people like me and stole incredible information and posted information in public other forums that would then look at me as being the whack job of the world. And so, yeah, it's just really bad. I mean, really sad. And the reason I bring this up to you is because in the forum community, and more than ever, this artificial intelligence, I mean, I talk about the cheat GPT. I talk about this daily this past week, and I just think with the artificial intelligence coming along, wow, what's going to start to play out with the artificial intelligence ban? I mean, when do the forum owners of these car forums and motorcycle forums, the truck forums, the whatever forums are out there where people are interacting with them each amongst ourselves, where is it all going to go when people start creating all these bots, which you already know the bots exist, but on how people are going to use artificial intelligence that in some ways, does it circumvent the forums? I mean, I don't know. I mean, because somebody can play off as you. I mean, it gets radical stuff on how I think we're going with this artificial intelligence. But at the same time, I wonder too, as we evolve with the forums in themselves, what's going to evolve from those? Where do those go on the next, step or plateau of how we interact with each other? And with this artificial intelligence on our doorstep more than ever, I just kind of scratch my head and think, how, what's going to evolve from that on? Because when you're in a car forum and your other forums, you yourself, you can be very intimidating. I mean, I'll be the first to raise my hand that in the early stages of going into like my first little forum was a Harley Davidson forum. And it's very intimidating kind of being the new person in the forum. There you have all these long-term members, and it's like walking, an example I would give is like you walking into a bar in a small town and you're the stranger and all the locals are there. I mean, how do you initially feel when you walk in the door? Well, that's kind of how these forum communities are. They have these long-term relationships with so many people, and once you enter into the forum and have conversations, borderline, they'll mock you and make fun of you, and not all of them, but it's a very intimidating time. And what I'm saying is, when I kind of first started getting into forums, my first forum community was like the Harley Davidson forum community back in 2012, because that's when I bought my 2010 Harley Davidson Street Glide, my first Harley Davidson I ever bought. And I was very intrigued to find out, how the bike is, and you can get in to listen to people's views of the motor and accessories, and then just to join a group of people. But at the same time, I didn't really interact much. I kind of read more, and was kind of a little bit, I would kind of get into it, because what happens is you're presenting what you think is information, or you're presenting a question or relaying a view, and then others will oppose that view, and then they kind of make you feel like you're not really the smartest of the bunch. And I think to myself, boy, with artificial intelligence, what is that going to do? What's going to happen with people that start using artificial intelligence to come across as an individual that's very intellectual and very, very, just a very dynamic person? I mean, that's who, here we go. I got my cruise thing on. I mean, where is that conversation? I think that, wow, talk about the future of what we're going to start to witness, where people portray themselves even more to be somebody they're not. Wow. The artificial intelligence, I think, is going to be huge on that, where people are going to interact behind the screen of devices, and they're going to come across as really astute individuals, and like, wow, this person is so talented, so smart, so creative, blah 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 blah. But then you're going to find out in real life, don't get me wrong, I mean, that goes on. It goes on already, but I think it's even going to go even further because of people having the artificial intelligence to be able to answer questions and to say things and to do things and present themselves as this all-knowing individual on certain subjects and aspects. Wow. And then in the end, you're going to find out this person is not really anything what they portrayed themselves to be behind the screen of a computer. And once again, I know that's already going on, but I think it's going to grow even more. The separation of mankind. I think that artificial intelligence in some aspects is going to separate mankind more than bring mankind together. And yes, the argument is with artificial intelligence is it's going to help us figure out medical information, better, and I guess there's other, and you make mankind more efficient. I mean, this is something that I heard the other day, is that artificial intelligence is going to make it the future of mankind to have more time to himself, to focus on himself. Wow. Okay, well, to get into the meditation, to get into the trying to think of the Buddha, what religion or what group of people are into that deep thinking. So the forum community, where does that evolve, where you get more frustration than satisfaction out of your interactions with others in a community, when you kind of feel like in some ways you're being shamed? Yeah. Oh my goodness, just kind of thinking out loud here off the tip of my tongue. I'm riding down the road. I've got like an hour and a half drive to where I'm going. And when I think to myself, you want to go for a ride today? Come on, go for a ride. Here's the fuel economy. My daughter this morning has not ridden in this truck yet. And she was basically like, where's the 23 miles per gallon, Dad? She was having fun at my expense. It was a nice Bronco. And yeah, she was basically like, where's the 23 miles? I'm like, right, where's the 23 miles a gallon? Yeah, I tell you what, the information age is just so overwhelming with information. How do you keep track of what you retain and what you don't? And last night, I woke up numerous times, and that's who I am. And so one of my subscribers responded that the Jeep, I didn't know this. A person responded, hey, the massaging seats door side up above your window controls for your massaging seats. And I'm like, wow, really? And so I literally responded to this person. I was like, wow, the truck has massaging seats? You're the only one that's figured this out. Nobody else has figured this out. You're telling me that button to activate it is up in the left-hand driver's door above the controls and mirrors and everything? And so I'm thinking, wow. So I posted that. And then a little while later, I kind of really looked into it a little more. No, this person was talking about my Jeep Grand Cherokee L. So then I had to post back in there, it's laughing like, oh my gosh, the vehicle. You're talking about my Grand Cherokee L. I thought you were talking about my Ford Platinum F-150 I just got. But that person probably doesn't even know I got that. Here we go. It's free driving, which that makes things really nice. I put premium fuel in the truck. Now I figured out what the truck is getting on fuel mileage, and it's like 19.6. So it's like the truck took 25.2 gallons, and I went like 400 and like I think 91 miles. I think if I remember right this morning, and I divided that by 25. My numbers would be off a little bit, and it came down to like 19.6 miles per gallon. So And I know for a fact that the dealership didn't put premium fuel in this vehicle. They don't do that. There's no way. They put the lowest grade, cheapest price gas. So I've got 93 in this thing. I don't think it'll change anything. I mean, does the vehicle run better? Yeah, I mean, I think it'll probably run a little better, much better. I don't think it'll be radical, but does it get better fuel mileage? I don't think it will. And since I'm doing so much over-the-road driving, I just can't see it. Oh, my goodness gracious. So, another note, batteries. Here's a really good conversation to talk about. The batteries. The batteries, the Inflation Act, the Inflation Act that Joe Biden signed that has all these deals in it to progress the chip manufacturing, semiconductor chips being made here, electric batteries being made here, electric cars being made here. So the government is giving all these programs out to entice companies to come here to this country and build products that are all the green agenda things. And so you have incentives as a manufacturer to set up shop here. And so there's an article about how over the next 10 years, the batteries are going to be extremely cheap to manufacture. And what they're saying right now is that for a manufacturer to build a battery, it's an average of $100 to $125 per kilowatt is what it costs to make a lithium battery for a car. So if you have 100 kilowatt battery, what does that equal? That's $10,000 is my guess. 100 times $100, right? Is that right or wrong? 100 times 10 is 1,000. So $10,000 for a battery. Even that sounds like, well, you hear the stories of $20,000 batteries. So what's going on is the federal government is going to subsidize all these manufacturers, and what they're going to do is the government's going to give each battery manufacturer $35. It's an eventually kind of be an equation that the $35 per kilowatt credit plus $10 battery pack credit. So basically, you're getting $45 reduction on the cost of you manufacturing the battery. So if you build your battery factory here in this country and you qualify to be subsidized, then you're going to take $45 off of each battery kilowatt based on the federal government giving you credits for that manufacturing. So they're saying that over the next 10 years, the $100 charge for a kilowatt to make a battery could be borderline down to zero charge because of the more efficient technology and as time evolves and progresses. So that the battery eventually is going to become very, very, very inexpensive. Wow, how about that? So they're saying that the infrastructure of the future of EV cars, the prices are going to drop significantly due to the battery technology. Yeah, right. Manufacturers will still be getting huge profits. And so then on that note, here's what's really interesting. When I was at Koons Baltimore Ford here last week, I was talking about how one of the guys that works there was saying that the federal government's guidelines on electric vehicles has been changed. And it's confusing because I was presented by, and I'm not here calling out anybody because it gets confusing, but the presentation was Ford has lowered their prices on the Ford Mustang Mach-E to qualify them in a different category of no longer being an SUV in their car, and they have to be $55,000 or less to qualify for the EV tax credits. Well, I guess they rewrote all the rules, because what I've read now numerous times over and over again is the brand new guidelines that the government just finally finalized is the Mach-E is an SUV and it gets tax credits up to $80,000, meaning once you spend over $80,000 on an SUV or truck, then you lose that tax credit because, it's so expensive. They're just saying you don't need a tax credit. You just make too much money because you're buying a very expensive vehicle. So I got the blue key. This stuff gets freaky, man. I always want to buy a car, and you'd swear as I drive into the guy. Yeah, all right. So anyways, so no, the gentleman told me the opposite. So if he's watching my channel, the finalized government regulations, from my understanding, is that the Ford Mustang Mach-E is continue to be called a crossover SUV, and the Cadillac has that new SUV. Same thing. It's going to be under that same category where it's considered an SUV. And so, why did Ford lower the prices on their cars? I mean, why was Tesla lowering the price of their cars? A lot of people were trying to say that was because of the new guidelines that the manufacturers were having to abide by the federal government, and for that reason, they've had to lower their prices to meet that criteria. Well, that's totally wrong. It's not true at all. The Tesla Y is under that SUV category that doesn't need to be discounted. Well, I don't know. In all sincerity, I don't know. Maybe the Tesla Y is over 80 grand. So I can understand that. But for Ford, no. Ford's just rolling their prices because I think they're seeing how the car market's just too expensive. That's a whole other conversation that's going on amongst many dealers and automotive executives, is they really feel that car prices have gotten so expensive, it's really going to start playing an impact on how people end up walking away from a deal of cars. I mean, they really do feel like more than ever that people really are going to have no choice to pull back because of the price of the new cars. But the biggest thing is because of the loss of value on the used cars. So a lot of these big automotive dealerships, the conglomerates, these guys are voicing, they're raising their hand and they're saying, hey, we understand that the consumer is definitely pulling back more than ever. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I think I got a Ford Raptor. Or do I don't know, I can't really tell. I'm having to push my truck to the right here to get over to let him go by because he wants to go 90. He wants to go 90 miles an hour. It's my speed, and that's how this road is. This is where it's freaky. See how this here? I'm literally like driving into that truck. Okay? So, yikes. I mean, right now, it's so close. It just seems like it's so close. Just crazy. That's so crazy. So that guy came up in that Ford truck, he totally pulled, and then he so backed down. What's that all about, right? As my hand goes to sleep, when you hold these phones in your hand, it's very challenging because eventually your freaking hand goes to sleep. Yeah, I know. I'll have to take a time out. And now the truck isn't happy with me because that guy's so weird. That guy just did 100 miles an hour to catch up to me. They totally just shut it down. What's that all about? I don't know. Weird. Anyway, so for the automotive industry, but this is conversation. I'm sure most people on my channel, you're a motor enthusiast, this isn't any breaking news of how people are, I think, pulling back on buying vehicles. And yeah, and the dealer lots have swelled pretty well in the last 60 days on how many new cars are now on dealer inventory. So that's grown a lot as well. Yeah. What's the forum conversations and the balloon? What's the deal with the balloon, right? What's the deal with the balloon? The Chinese balloon. I mean, is that a trap where China wants us to shoot it out of the sky and it's got a atomic bomb, a nuclear bomb in it? I mean, sincerely, this is where so you go through these corners in this truck. This is where this vehicle's so you get some pretty good corners. Here we go. This is a pretty good corner. See that steering wheel? Do you see how much that steering wheel's turning here? Look at that. There's an area here where you go over to Baltimore, the Jersey barriers. Oh, it's freaky. It's freaky. I'll have to video that. Wow. So now this video here, it won't populate till later today because I'm out in the field and it just won't, it's not gonna late in the day. Meaning that I won't get back in until later today. When you try to upload these videos out in the field, it doesn't work. So the Saturday morning conversation for most people will be the Saturday evening conversation. And yeah, you know, I sometimes debate so many times. So I make a video on a Saturday. I mean, I don't know. I just kind of like, yeah, and sincerely, if it wasn't for me being able to live in this truck today, would I? Probably not have. Like this morning, just too many things going on Saturday mornings to get things in order for me to get out and work, because I'm usually the only one working on Saturdays. You know, you own your own company, you understand that language. Meanwhile, the Power Boost is really cool. Disappointed. I really am. I mean, I really am just, I'm stunned. Miles a gallon. I don't know. I mean, yesterday a person reached out to my YouTube channel and posted they're getting like 25 miles a gallon, but they said they're using 85 octane. Isn't that E85? So I haven't even looked it up. Does this thing have E85 factory setup? So can I put E85 in this thing? I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not the E85 guy. I just don't focus on that. But here's what's really morning when I went to get fuel, I did not know this has a locking fuel cap. So I'm literally pounding the fuel cap, and it won't come open. And I'm like, well, it can't be frozen. I haven't washed the truck. Now I'm like, oh, this sucks. I'm down to 90 miles, and am I going to take this thing to the damn dealership for them to get the damn fuel door? It's the fuel door to unlock. Here we go. So this is where I can get. Yeah, this is some pretty sharp turns. Like, it looks like totally want to drive into that car right now. I mean, it's just like, wow. I mean, it's serious stuff. Anyways, so yeah, oh, here's a good corner. This is a good here. Here we go. I don't have my hands on the steering wheel. Look, and that's like, watch the road, watch the road. I get it. This is some pretty good corners here. If you don't have your hands within reason of this thing, you're crazy. Nope, look at there. Hands on steering wheel. So it knows. So this thing's mapped, and it's like, hey, nope, you got to take over. It's just too much. It's just too much going on. It's too much road, and you need to drive the car. Yeah. So, anyways, so I'm at Costco, and I can't get the fuel door open, and I'm pounding on. I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And so then I just like, you know what? I'll open up the front door here, and I look inside the door, and it shows that little fuel door icon, and I hear when I push a little button to pop the door. The technology. Did my sales guy know that? No. Nope. All right. I'm like 33 minutes in this video. What I know about these videos, once you get so far into them, if you don't turn them off, the recognition of my voice, my mouth movement, and the voice is so out of kilter. So I could, this can turn into an hour and a half video of me just driving and talking. Yeah, notice I know how to talk a lot. Yeah, we'll continue conversations. Just have to be like a two-part series. Do I go by Koons Baltimore Ford to say hi to the guys today when I head back in, just to say hey? Yeah, that's dangerous. Once you get there, it turned into, oh, looky here. I mean, I've been keeping an eye on their website for the Ford Tremor Maverick. The Tremor Maverick sounds like it's a fun truck. Yeah. Would I try to get that truck? I already have a Maverick, so I don't think that's the ticket. What does Ford have? The Ford Ranger Raptor. That's what I should be thinking about. That would be this fall. But the damn thing's going to be, I guarantee you, $80,000. $60,000. Conservative, they'll put 10 grand on it. 10 grand. Down there, Koons Showing Ford, they've already got people paying $150, $160 for his Raptor R's. Unbelievable. All right. Stay tuned.